Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something a little different with vocabulary. We're going to be working with a transcript you sent us from a YouTube video, which is always fun because you never know what you're going to get.
It's true. These deep dives always have something unexpected. And this one is particularly interesting. We're not looking at like, uh, you know, a dictionary definition, but a casual English lesson
Yeah.
by a native Hindi speaker. The viewers call him Guru.
Okay, so a guru teaching English. That already suggests a different approach, right? Like, I have to admit, I'm not really familiar with how English is taught outside of traditional classrooms.
Well, in a lot of non-native English teaching environments, there's a big emphasis on building fluency and confidence. It's about encouraging people to speak without being afraid of making grammatical errors, you know?
Yeah.
The idea is that fluency will come with time, and that initial confidence is key to getting people comfortable using the language.
Makes a lot of sense. So less about perfect grammar right away and more about just getting people talking.
Exactly. And we
Yeah.
see that even just from reading the guru's teaching style in the transcript, there's a lot of positive reinforcement and encouragement, like don't be afraid to make mistakes. It seems like a very dynamic learning experience.
I'm seeing that. The guru's language is very energetic, almost like they're trying to inject enthusiasm through the screen.
Absolutely. And that positive learning environment can be so important for people who might be intimidated by the process of learning a new language.
So let's dive into the vocabulary itself. What kinds of words are we working with here?
It's a really cool mix. We've got these everyday terms like rational, generous, impatient, words you use in casual conversation. But then there are also some more complex words like complimentary, nepotism, even philanthropist. Not your typical beginner vocabulary list.
Yeah, nepotism definitely stands out. That's not exactly a word I'd expect in a casual English lesson. Is there something about the cultural context that might explain why it's included?
There is. Nepotism is unfortunately a big issue in a lot of sectors of Indian society, particularly in Bollywood. Think about those huge, influential film families where acting careers are often passed down through generations. That word carries a lot of weight in India, so it makes sense that it would be considered an important word to learn.
Wow, I never would have made that connection. So we're already seeing that this word list isn't just random. It's actually offering a glimpse into cultural values and concerns.
Precisely. And this is where things get really interesting. By examining the words chosen, we can start to uncover these deeper layers of meaning and understand how language reflects a culture's priorities and even its challenges.
Okay, I'm hooked. What other gems are hidden in this vocabulary list? I'm starting to see these words in a whole new light now.
It's really fascinating how language can be a window into a culture.
Yeah.
Like we're starting to see how these really simple words can reveal these deeper realities about society.
Absolutely. I'm curious, are there any other words on this list that particularly highlight that? Maybe even some of the challenges India faces?
Definitely. We've got discrimination, minority, torture, even dowry is on there. These are heavy topics. And their inclusion really says a lot about how language learning can be tied to social awareness.
It's like the guru isn't shying away from these tough issues. Like they're trying to give students the words to talk about them, maybe even challenge them.
Exactly. It's about giving learners the tools to engage with the world around them, all the complexities. Having the words to talk about these issues is like the first step towards really understanding them and being able to address them.
That's such an interesting point. It makes me wonder if this focus on social issues is specific to this guru or if it's more like a broader trend in teaching English to non-native speakers.
That's a great question. And it's hard to say for sure without more information. But it's worth noting that language learning, especially when English is seen as a key to global opportunities, often comes with understanding and navigating different cultural landscapes.
Okay, so it's not just about learning grammar rules. It's about gaining a deeper understanding of the world. I'm seeing a theme here.
You're right. There are definitely patterns emerging in this word list. For example, look how many words are about emotions and personal qualities. Impatient, generous, self-centered, jealous.
Yeah, you're right. It's like the guru is giving these students a vocabulary for figuring out how people behave. And not just their own behavior, but like the motivations and actions of everyone around them.
Exactly. It's about equipping learners with the tools to understand social interactions, all those little nuances of how people relate to each other. Imagine being able to describe someone as generous or self-centered in English. That kind of emotional intelligence can be so valuable in a new language.
It's amazing how much we're learning from this one vocabulary list. And speaking of the words themselves, I'm struck by how much variety there is. We've got everything from rational to rebel, complimentary to, well, crap. That's quite a range.
That diversity is fascinating. It suggests that the guru is preparing students for all kinds of real-world situations, from formal interactions where they might need to use words like complimentary or rational, to more casual settings where a word like crap might actually be the right choice.
So it's about being able to adapt, being versatile, giving students the words to express themselves no matter what the situation is.
Yes. And I think this is where we really start to see the value in the guru's approach. It's not just about memorizing words, it's about understanding all the subtleties of language and how to use it effectively to connect with people.
I'm really starting to appreciate the depth of this lesson. What else can we see in the guru's teaching style? Is there anything else that stands out to you?
One thing that really stood out to me was, at the end of the video, when the guru challenges the viewers to make their own sentences using the new word
Oh, yeah.
and then to share them in the comments.
Yes, that's such a cool way to reinforce what they've learned and get them participating.
Right. It's not just about passively listening. It's about actually using the words, making them your own.
It's like those language learning apps that make you use new words in different contexts so you remember them better.
Yeah.
Except here you're getting real feedback from other people.
Exactly. And that brings up another interesting thing about the guru's approach, the focus on community. Like by encouraging people to talk to each other and give each other feedback, they're creating a place for learners to connect, to share their struggles, and celebrate what they've learned.
I can see how that would make a big difference, especially with something as hard as learning a new language. Having other people there to support you makes it a lot less intimidating.
For sure. Learning with other people can keep you motivated and make you feel like you belong, which is super helpful for language learners.
It's really cool how the guru puts all these different things together. The emphasis on fluency, choosing vocabulary that's culturally relevant, encouraging people to participate, and building that sense of community. And we can't forget their enthusiasm. They seem really passionate about sharing English with everyone.
Yeah, and that passion is definitely contagious. It makes learning feel less like work and more like an adventure.
And you can really feel that enthusiasm even just reading the transcript. I can only imagine how good the actual video is.
Right. It just shows that good teaching isn't only about explaining things. It's about making people curious and confident.
Yeah.
And making learning fun.
So where does that leave us? We started with a YouTube video transcript, and we ended up finding so much more than a list of English words. We learned about how another culture approaches language learning. We talked about how language connects to social awareness, and we even touched on how important community and enthusiasm are when you're learning something new.
This has been a really interesting deep dive. I think it shows something really important. Language isn't just a tool to talk to each other. It reflects our culture, it helps us understand ourselves and the world, and it's a powerful way to connect with others.
I like that. And I think the guru's unique approach reminds us that fluency isn't just about following rules, it's about using language confidently and creatively to connect with people and express yourself.
Absolutely. It's about enjoying the journey of learning a language with all the ups and downs and using it to broaden our understanding of the world and make our lives richer.
Well said. And we encourage you to keep exploring the power of language. Think about how the words you choose shape your thoughts, how you talk to other people, and even how you see the world. Even a simple list of words can lead to some pretty amazing discoveries, as we've seen today. So keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.